Hi everyone, happy holidays. My name is Gabby Gonzalez Jensen, and this is my video presentation on the myth that everyone is an expert at communicating. So I've done a little video presentation, a little slideshow presentation. So with that, let's get started. If this will load. There we go. Oh, okay. So, everyone is an expert in communication. So kind of the backstory behind why I wanted to write about or present about this topic is because I have recently been proven wrong in this sense that I have always considered myself a pretty good communicator, but I recently realized that I was not as good of a communicator as I thought I was, and for different reasons that I didn't even think about. So what kind of brought about this realization is that as of August, I am newly married, as of this past August, and there are a lot of things that you learn about your new spouse or about yourself during this time. So in the past few months, I have definitely learned different things about my husband, but also about myself. And one of those things is that we do not always communicate in the same way. And this makes sense because when you get married, or really when you live with anybody, period, like whether it be a roommate or maybe a family member that you haven't lived with in a while, whenever you get married or are living with somebody, there's a lot of blending that happens. And what I mean by that is that you are putting together different traditions, habits, and more than anything, different cultures that you have lived with your whole life, and maybe the other person hasn't. And so you're not used to some of the things or the way that your new spouse or roommate or whatever, you're not used to the way that they do things or the way that they communicate. So that causes there to be sometimes some friction or contention or just confusion. And that comes with thinking that we are great communicators in ourselves. And sometimes we put the blame on other people that, oh, they didn't get why I didn't mean this or whatever. And so sometimes there definitely is that disconnect. And I found this image that I feel really illustrates what I'm trying to say. So here we see a man and a woman talking, and we see different things going on. I'm just going to focus in on one area for right now, but look at their mouths. How right here, he has a bullhorn and she has this loudspeaker. Both things are meant to project things loudly. So they're the same in purpose and function, but they're still different. Look, everything that's being done here are all similar and the same outcome is happening, but the way that they are happening is different from one another. And that's where I feel like our, personal, like, oh, I'm a great communicator comes from. It's because we've done this over and over and over again. We're constantly talking with people. Even amongst the pandemic, we are still in constant communication with one another through the internet. And so I feel like because since it's something that we do a lot, that it's something that we assume that we're good at. And sometimes that leads us to this conclusion, where not everyone communicates in the same way. And again, that's because of different cultures, different upbringings, different traditions, different habits. And that can lead us to kind of get to a place where we need to fit in a puzzle, but it doesn't quite line up. And it's easy to think, oh, well, they didn't understand me. They don't understand like what I mean by this, or they don't get it. But really, it's something that we need to work on ourselves because we're not all expert communicators. That is a myth. So it is leading us to believe that they are the problem, but really it's in ourselves. And that's what determines expertise, is whether or not we'll be able to mold or communicate with somebody based on other things. It's branching out our ability to communicate. So a concept that we learned about in our textbook that I absolutely loved when it came to this myth is that we can't be confusing experience with expertise. And I feel like that is where the disconnect is happening. There's this quote from the textbook that I pulled that I think describes it perfectly. It says, "Many people drive, but that doesn't make them expert drivers. Many people have children, but that doesn't make them experts at parenting. Experience can be invaluable, but expertise requires the development of knowledge and ability that goes beyond personal experience." Close quote. So expertise is something that needs to be worked at. It's not, we can't just rely on our own personal experience with anything, especially communication. When it comes to calling ourselves an expert at something, we need to go beyond just what we're experiencing in our everyday lives and actually develop the skill. So, oh, sorry, skipped one. So sometimes when we're communicating, we're expecting this because we kind of subconsciously expect everybody to be on the same page as us. But in some ways, that expectation alone, along with our lack of communication skills that we haven't developed, leads from our expectations being this to, oh my goodness, to the reality being this. That disconnect. It's not a perfect puzzle piece. We need to mold ourselves to becoming, I guess, a universal puzzle piece per se. And to kind of close and wrap up this presentation, I wanted to share a quote with you that I found from Speakeasy Blogs that says, "Communication is not as simple as stringing words together. It takes preparation and a dedication to learning your audience and finding the right words to connect with them and move them to action." Communication is so much more, you guys, than just talking with one another. It's more than just our personal experience. It's the preparation and dedication to learning and finding and looking for the right words and developing our skills that make us expert communicators, not just our everyday experience. And communication can be the key, can be the universal key to that lock of good communication, but it's something that comes with more than just experience. It comes with effort and preparation and skills and work, just like anything else in life. Well, that is the end of my video presentation. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are staying safe and have a happy holidays, hopefully with your families, but I wish you all well. Thanks for a great class.